All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Luke Blain alongside the Ravenswood Red Devils head coach, Mick Price. All right, how are you doing tonight?
Good, Luke. Good seeing you. Wish the best to all your family, your grandma, grandpa, your dad, mom. Man, you guys are good people. It's always good to see you all.
Thank you. All right, starting off, we know last year you had two big-time players in Hayden Mandrake and Riley Hetherington. How has it affected the team losing them last year, because last year was their senior season?
Well, I think when some people look at your team and they say, well, we only lost two guys, and you got guys coming back, the problem is those two guys did so much. Riley's been a first-team All-Stater for the last 2 years. He's playing at the University of Charleston now. He's actually started the last 3 or 4 games for them. He had great eyes. He was a great defensive presence. He was long. He could shoot the three, or he could take it inside. He could do a lot of things for you. And then Hayden Mandrake, toughest nut we had on the court. I mean, led our team in charges taken for the year. Always guarded one of the toughest guards on the opposing team, and he could have had a motor on him. He could go, and he got the ball to people, and he didn't really care whether he gave it up, to get points for the team. His job as a point guard was to get everybody else going, and he knew that. And those two guys played those roles perfectly. Now we've got to find that. We've got to find out what is our roles and what do we got to do now, because it's going to take a while for this group to develop that chemistry where we have that type of identity again.
Right. Now, we know you've coached for a long time, had a great career.
Hey, watch that long send that out.
I'm sorry. Now, how do you best prepare for a game with a long layoff time, and is there any particular thing in practice you've been focusing on with this extended period?
Well, when you have a long layoff, I think it disrupts your rhythm. Both your school system and our school system didn't have school, and we've had kids that couldn't get to school because of high water. We had roads that were bad. We had some kids that couldn't get to practice for that. And I think you just have to sit back and don't get too upset about it. And then when they come, make sure that you're doing some things. I think you need to rekindle your conditioning. I think you need to rekindle just their awareness on the court and doing some things up and down and trying to get the transition in. And I think that's all you can do. The worst thing about these layoffs is you got to schedule these games in, and I think it's worse on teams to have 3 or 4 games a week because you can't play a game than it is for them to play sometimes. So I've always been a proponent, if you can get there, play it. And I know a lot of the outlying areas, especially in Mason County and Jackson County, the roads are poor, but because they haven't got to them yet. But if we can play a game, I think that it's advantageous to both teams to play, simply because it keeps them in some type of a rhythm. And getting out of a rhythm is a tough thing, because as a coach, you want to have that Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday. You want to have that throughout the year and to get ready to that, because that's where your tournament season comes up, is usually played.
All right. Now, obviously, it's the wintertime, mid-season, flu season. How is the health of your team? Is any injuries, sickness, illness, anything like that?
Well, we've battled the flu all year. From the start of our season, we've battled the flu, and we have battled some injuries. We've had Lakin Tucker's missed a game due to an ankle injury that he had. Stephen Dawson and Jaden Rhodes both was coming out of football season with injuries that kept them from finishing their football season, so it took them a while to get started this season. And so the flu has affected all of them. I know Blake Bennett, my grandson, missed a game over at Southern. He got up that morning and said he felt fine. Next thing you know, he's puking his head off, and till 6 o'clock in the evening. So it's affected everybody. But we try to play enough guys, enough minutes that in our rotation that you just got to next man up. I know that sounds coaches talk, and I don't mean it to be like that, but you really got to do that. And, to stay away from injuries, you got to practice. You got to prevent those things by staying out there and stretching out good and making sure your kids take care of themselves. And, I've got a thing about your generation. I don't think you guys do a good job taking care of yourself. You go out without any clothes on. You got a little thin jacket. You never ever think something's going to happen bad, that the car will break down, so you don't have any clothes to put on if you do get a breakdown. You don't wear a toboggan or a hat on your head. You just expect everything to be like Myrtle Beach. And sometimes I think that we do the same things, and I think that's how we get sickness and illness. We don't take care of ourselves enough. So hopefully we will.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Hey, Luke, it's always great talking to you. You do a great job. You are so much better on this than your dad. So I'm so glad that you're doing it.
All right. Thank you. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Yeah, you don't mean that either, Luke. Come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Luke Blain alongside Coach Josh Williams of the Point Pleasant Big Blacks, your one and only. Now, Coach Will, is there anything different about playing a 9-0 team, being a 1-7 team, having the kind of a chip on your shoulder? Is that what the team's experiencing right now?
Yeah, just moving forward. Haven't been happy with a lot of things that we've been doing. Young, of course, but some of these things you shouldn't matter about. We made some adjustments and went to a little bit of different philosophy, trying to just get back to some of the basics and having some pride in our program and in who we are, and then just with a lot of young kids and first year playing varsity, just trying to even themselves trying to figure each other out and how they mesh together, and even for our coaching staff it's been kind of a challenge to figure that out as well. But we just tell them, like, what an opportunity, to be able to play against a team like this, number 2 in the state, right here on your home floor. We have nothing to lose, so just go out here and respect the opponent, respect the game, and just play as hard as you can, and see where the chips fall.
Have you seen any development and growth with the team over the season?
Yeah, of course we have. Just in the beginning, like I said, a lot of bad shots, a lot of inconsistency, just with our assignments on defense, and we just feel like you can see the kids growing, getting a little bit more confident, kind of being baptized by the fire. A couple of them got to play last year, but they got to play on the side of seniors, so wasn't much expected of them, but just to fill a role. Now we're asking these same guys as sophomores to become leaders, and that's a process and could be a difficult one. And like the Malik Butler kid that we have on our team, that's a freshman, he missed out in 8th grade year, so these kids are being asked to jump from freshman ball, junior high ball, and him basically he just played his last time playing was 7th grade, and then asking all these kids to make that jump to varsity, it can be a difficult one.
Right. How do you plan on combating this high-powered Ravenswood team? Have a lot of seniors, a lot of experience?
Well, we hope we have the gods of Point Pleasant sitting up there on those rims, and when they shoot, get some of those swats for us. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Hopefully the rims a little bit shorter and smaller for them than it is for us. But they're a great team, great tradition, got a great coach. Going to be a difficult one for sure, but like I told our kids, what a way to measure yourself, and what an experience to have, and what an opportunity right here in our gym. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight.
All right, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
You too. You're welcome.